take this seriously. So today I have Barrister Idris in the building. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, Nigerians.
Oyi joins us. Happy Saturday. I don't think that sounds nice, does it? Okay. Happy weekend. I think so, yeah.
All right. Yeah, nice to be here.
Okay. Olive is standing and lurking somewhere in the corner. She's going to be joining us very soon. But let's start with the topic of the day, a very serious issue. Thank God. I mean, all of us here are mature. We've grown through our parents or our guardians. For some reason, we've seen one or two things happen that seemed at the time very normal. Now things have changed. We are in control. We are the caregivers, if you like to put it that way. And things are different. The world is changing its view towards the treatment of other human beings. We're talking about house helps. Who is a house help, Barrister Idris? Who exactly is a house help?
That's a difficult one, Peter. When we say house help, these are persons that are not, maybe they might be members of the family, but extended family members, or somebody you just bring into your home to give a helping hand towards, developing, maybe assisting you with domestic chores and all of that. So basically, this is what we see as house help. But I just want to, when we narrow it down to house help, I think it's just too narrow, but we'll focus on house help. But when we talk about violence of any kind, being anywhere, for somebody from maybe Togo, Ghana to come and do some chores for your taking care of your children, why that person is indoors, not a school age again, but not having that opportunity to go to school. And they exploit these children and their family to the detriment of the society. Thank God in Nigeria we have Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015 that was signed into law by former president. It's a whole lot of documents that looked at our environment, that tried to deal with issues surrounding violence, not only to house help, not only to children, but every human being. And I think we should take it very seriously. If you look at the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, what led to that declaration was issue of torture, ethnic cleansing, inhuman treatment. And part of the problem these house help are facing are inhuman treatment.
Now let's look at house help in definition in the Nigerian context.
In the Nigerian context, you refer to house helps as children who are not yours biologically, who are brought into your house, into your family, and who assist and helps in doing domestic jobs. That's in our context. That's a house.
And probably to add, whose parents are not well to do.
Usually the parents are not well to do. And these parents most times are deceived. Somebody goes home to his or her own village and say, look, you have so many children, give me one or two of them, I'll bring them to the city, I'll take care of them, I'll send them to school, they'll be like my children. But in the real sense, when they get to these homes, they become like slaves, servants. They're treated, usually when you go out and you see a house help and the child of the family, you can tell the difference from the things they wear, from their looks. You can tell that this is a house help. This is not this woman's child. These are her children, and it's very disheartening.
And that exactly conflicts with the definition by Barrister Idris, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so now let's look at the way our parents saw it. I'll give an example. Growing up, I thought that any house help would be a child who came from, a backward family, so to speak, a family that cannot afford to send their children to school, a family that lived in the village and needed help, and even though I was strong enough to do certain things, My own mother, for instance, would give the job to that person. And I kept, you keep having that deep feeling that it was wrong as a child. And that was when I was 7 or so. You keep feeling that inner feeling that this is not proper. It was when I grew up to become a man of my own that I personally stopped it. And I said, that should not happen in the house. Every child must be treated the same. I mean, now it has become a foreign business in Nigeria, and I understand that many people work with agents in Abuja here.
Let me tell you, I got a test the other time, and somebody said, if you need house helps, if you need people who can take care of your children for you when you go to work, my office is at so place. We supply house helps. We
supply house helps.
Yes, so
but
it's not business.
Is that a good thing to say?
It's
I stated a law, Child Rights Act 2003, that forbids child labor. And where I think for me, NAPTIP should wake up to its responsibilities and ensure that agents like that don't exist in our society. You described a scenario. Well, while I was growing up, I don't think we had issues concerning house help during my time in my home anyway. What I noticed was, for instance, I had cousins, nephews and all of that who were all of the same age bracket that were staying with my mom, but we do exactly the same. During festive period like Salah, we wear the same kind of clothes, we attended the same kind of school. So I had that at the back of my mind while I was growing up. So issue of house help, I didn't see it as being house help the way it is being defined
So
today.
do you have house helps in your house?
No, I don't do house help, for God's sake, no. In fact,
and
I had a relative who was staying with me at one time, not house help. The school my children were attending, she attended the same school. She was grown up, but in fact, everything in my house, she called me daddy. So nobody knew we're not even related, blood relatives. But that's how I
so
see
your
it.
children see her as equal.
Even till date, she is part of the family. So there's nothing like house help. And like you said, in the last 6, 7, 8 years, nobody says it. It's just me, my wife, and my kids, and that's it. So issue of house
So if
help,
your wife travels, you take care of the kids?
Of course. That's why I'm a daddy.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't have house helps, but I have a younger sister that stays with me.
Okay.
And she's my blood, so I don't do house helps.
So
really.
she actually supports when you're not in.
When I'm not in, she helps to take care of my daughter.
And what's your reason?
Because I have to be at the office, and I can't come to work with my child. And I had this thing at the back of my mind that I want someone whom I can trust to take care of my child, because I hear a lot of stories, about what people who come into your families do. They have this mindset sometimes, and then they come and then they do things they're not supposed to do. So I don't have a house help.
Olive joins us. Good morning, Olive. It's good that you're wearing the Nigerian jersey. You insisted we should discuss that today. We will talk about it, don't worry. And I'm realizing it's because of the jersey you're wearing.
Yeah, Peter, before Olive says something, I want to say that 90% of house help issues are caused by the women that manages the home.
Is that a fact?
No, it is. No doubt about it. She will tell you, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. But and again, the men have some blame anyway, because you don't wholly rely on the woman to, nurture your child and all of that.
Exactly.
You split responsibilities. When my children were growing up, you won't believe it. Sometimes my wife is in the kitchen preparing their breakfast and what they take to school. I'll be in the bathroom, ensuring I give a hand for them to shower and all of that, prepare them for school. So we shared responsibilities, and once you do this, the issue of house help, I think it will be completely non-existent. And again, one thing we must take from this discussion is we say, okay, because of our kids and all of that. If all institutions, organizations should have crèche in their environment where mothers who are breastfeeding and all of that can bring their wards to that crèche. After about an hour, you go breastfeed and come back, still do your work. I think that bond is established. Outside that, even when you want to the so-called school run we do, you take your child from school, bring the child to the office where they have that crèche and all of that. That bond is there. You finish from work, you all drive down home together and all of that. And I think the government and private institutions should ensure that we have crèches that in all institutions where breastfeeding mother can bring their child or their children so that they have that bond. In National Human Rights Commission, they have a crèche and they have a nurse and 2 staffs that take care of, this is a clear example of how organizations should manage their home. Part of the greater problem we're having in society today is lack of care, giving your words to a total stranger to bring up for you. If we have things like that put in place, I think it will go a long way into solving this problem of house help and all of that.
Now we have a difference now. There's a nanny and there's a house help. In other words, and nannies are supposed to take care of children, aren't they? And the house help is supposed to take care of the house chores. In Nigeria, we seem to put the two together. On a child who barely knows what his or her rights are, or her left and right, his or her English.
Yeah, it's wrong to actually bring a child to take care of the child, because the child that you're bringing in is even supposed to be taken care of. You now leave your own child with a child. So what do you expect? But I think on the other hand that women, especially, should begin to look at things differently. You're a mother, and then you have another person's child in your house, and look at you doing things as if you don't know what a child feels like, So I think women should begin to love every child that they see, whether that child is yours biologically or not. From the inner part of your heart, begin to love that child. If we love other children the way we love our own children, we won't be having this kind of issues. You hear about women I was reading the story the other time where a woman, the house help, I think took milk, and drank tea. She was not around. So, and when she returned, they said she took fire, put it inside the palm of the kid, and then closed it. So a lot of terrible things happen, and the man too. They do. Maybe that's another issue to start with.
Olive, the way you're laughing.
Yeah, Barrister Idris actually said something. He said some of the problems we have regarding household is caused by women.
He said 90% of women.
90% of them say, I can't do this or I can't do that. I totally disagree with that. I think the problem is because a lot is expected of the woman, and before now women are not used to. Let's say during his mother's time, or maybe growing up.
I will disagree with her. I said 90%, and I said the blame also. The men don't give helping hand.
Exactly. Of course, I also agree with you on that. That there is need for the men, of course, to give a helping hand. But then again, let's also look at it from this angle. I think there is really nothing wrong with having someone live in your house. But what I will frown at is maltreating somebody's child. Because sometimes it's actually a helping hand you are lending to that woman or that man out there when you have the child live with you, because some of them might not even be able to we all know the situation of them. Not even the situation now, but from years ago and all that. We know the situation that for some families it's really difficult to even feed one or even two people. Some of them can just say, oh, I know that auntie, she's educated, and I know if I have my child living with her, of course, my child will come out good, because So I really don't see anything wrong with having someone live with you, but I think
but when you talk about nothing being wrong with having somebody live with you, the question you want to ask is, isn't there a difference between having somebody live with you and having time to take care of that person?
Peter,
because that's another thing.
Peter.
Now on the issue of
sorry, Olive, I want to take something from what she just said. Let's assume your child is 5 years old, or let's say your child is 3 years old. Then you now bring in a child who is about 7 years old to come and.
In some cases.
Wait now.
That is child. That is child abuse.
So we need to define it. We need to define it. That is where I have.
No, because Olive said it is not wrong for you to have someone
live with you.
You didn't classify.
But that is where I want to pick, her statement from. Having someone to live with you, but the age matters, and the kind of assignment you are giving to that child matters. And again, very seriously, if that child has opportunities of either going to school or learning a trade, and you are stopping that child, you are creating a huge problem for society. We are just looking at the immediate gain.
You're helping the immediate family, but
it's not help.
But damaging the entire society.
Now, when you have someone live with you, I don't even subscribe to this idea of calling someone's child a house help, because I mean, why will you bring someone to just run the house chores, and then you don't even take? If your kids are not helps in your own house, why should another person's child be a help in your house? Now, when you have people live with you, how do you treat them? For me, I feel that is of importance more than calling someone a house help and all that. Now, having someone live with you, it could be a relative, it could be blood, it could just be an outsider. You try to know the family, of course, because I don't subscribe to bringing someone to your house that you don't even know their family. Now, how do you treat that child? Personally, there are times when I get calls like, this person wants to visit for holiday and all that, but me, I always support, okay, you can come stay the holiday and you leave. But even some people who don't have house help, even when they have a relative or someone come to their house to spend their holiday, they still maltreat them. They still send them out to hawk. They still, understand?
Okay,
it's not just about the house. Now, bottom line is this: you can have someone live with you, but I don't know why you should call that person a help. You can have someone live with you. You can treat that person as your child. I mean,
but you see, Olive, you are getting something out of this. Do you know this child that is brought into or the children that have been brought into this family to come and provide this assistance? They have been paid some amount of money through the agent that brought them and all of that.
Well, I didn't start the conversation with you people, so I wouldn't know how far you.
Well, but
I'm just trying to.
Let me cut in a bit. The question again is not whether. I mean, this is phase one of the challenge. Phase two of the challenge is coming after the break. We'll take a quick break on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. It's X-Ray. Stay with us.
In a world filled with questions, many were called, two were chosen. Reality comes to play. Stories are made. Moments when you feel the fever. 1 hour. Arguments. Controversies. Questions and answers. Tensions rising. And more arguments. One man. One woman. One show. X-Ray. X-Ray. Airing live on Human Rights Radio 101.1 Abuja. X-Ray. In a world filled with questions, many were called, two were chosen. Reality comes to play. Stories are made. Moments when you feel the fever. 1 hour. Arguments, controversies, questions and answers, tensions rising, and more arguments. One man, one woman, one show. X-Ray. Airing live on Human Rights Radio 101.1 Abuja.
Welcome back. It's X-Ray on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. Before the break, we were talking about the whole issue of house helps and how the perception is in Nigeria. It's a big problem. We talked about the phase one of the problem, and that has to do with the perception by whoever brings a child into a home in the name of house help, and the treatments that are meted on those children. The next question, the next phase of the problem is those surrounding the person who brought the child. So in some cases we have issues like a woman brings a child to help her in the house, then we start hearing cases of the husband abusing that child, either sexually or molesting the child, or the challenges of family members, the children, putting in so much pressure on this. We've seen it. I personally have seen it, and I have experienced firsthand that story. So I wasn't told. I took that person straight up to NAPTIP personally. So it is not something that I heard. It is something that I saw. And NAPTIP took the issue very seriously and took the child back to our parents. Pastor Idris is in the building. Likewise, Olive and Oikeke. Thank you so much, gentlemen and ladies, for staying with us and being part of the family.
Thank you, Peter.
So what is your reaction to that? I mean, you bring somebody to the house and the next thing,
I think
you're not caring, because again, Olive mentioned earlier on that it is not wrong to bring people. Yes.
No, wait, Peter. I think first and foremost, our definition. I think we need to clarify who the house help is in this regard, because some you bring them in as relatives, you are taking care of them, is payment in kind, not in cash. While some you bring them in, you pay them cash and all of that. So they have different kind of house help and all of that. But the truth about it is, once you are bringing in a person, whether it's a blood relative or whatever it is, to give you a hand, it becomes a help. You understand what I'm saying? No matter how we look at it, that becomes a help. Again, we can differentiate between a house help and a nanny. The house help, the way we see it, are persons who are below the age of 18 downward. That will be my understanding of a house help. Why nannies are elderly persons that take care of the children from all of that, and their role again differs. House help are those that will do the ordinary domestic chores, go for errands and all of that in the Nigerian parlance. While nannies are those elderly persons that take care of the younger ones, the children and all of that, when their moms are not around. And we've seen situations where nannies play the role of a mother in the real sense of it. And I have seen where children even are closer to their nannies more than their parents. So it all depends on how we look at it. But this is broad, angle of this house help and nannyship and all of that. The most important thing that I keep talking about here, one, we are human. And the moment you don't have empathy, you can't empathize, and you can't sympathize, it's a problem. Empathy, what I meant is, you step into the shoe of that child. Why did I bring this child here? Maybe the child is an orphan, no father, no mother. Situate yourself into that child's shoes and say, how will I be treated if I'm in this in this condition? I think once we start doing that, then our humane nature will come to play. I have seen situations. A woman was going to work, her jewelries and all of that. She normally will lock them into her room, take the keys and put them in her box, and then go to school. The daughter now asks her, I say, Mommy, You are always locking your jewelries and all of that anytime you are going to work. Mom will say, yes, they are my valuables. He say, that is interesting. He say, Mom, so does that mean I'm not valued by you? Say, how do you mean? Say, why are you locking them? He say, I don't want the house help to steal them. He said, oh, you don't want the house help to steal them, but you can leave me with the house help to take me to school. That means your jewelries are more valuable than me. That is a message.
That's a message.
So we need to look at it from a very wide, angle. It's a very delicate issue. Ordinary president, I'm sorry I'm bringing this. The number of persons that he provide assistance for, they are uncountable. You seated here, you're doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing. These are persons, they are not even living with me at all. They are not living with him, but he's providing assistance. So if you want to tell me that because this person is poor, that is why you want to bring the person in, I don't think that holds water for me. No. You can provide whatever assistance you want to give, even if the person is in
remotely.
This age and time that you can send money to pay for school fees and all of that.
Callers, before we come back to other speakers in the house, you can call us and be part of the program on 081 89 99 1011. That's 081 89 99 1011. Okay.
What is happening now is modern day slavery. A situation where you disguise and you bring children to your house, and then you turn them to become slaves. It's really bad.
Hello.
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Peter.
You're welcome to X-Ray.
Yeah. Good morning. Yes, in the house.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Franklin. The topic is really interesting. Honestly, what you people are talking in the studio is really nice. I noticed something in this issue. There is one of my friends that her sister, that is her mother's sister, took her somewhere, and she's the same age with she's the same age with the sister doctor. But imagine when in the morning she will get up and bath the sister, the lady daughter, then took them to school. Then she will come back and carry granite and pure water and go to somewhere market to go and sell. And she stayed there for like 8 years. She returned back without finishing primary school. With my help and advice, I called this girl. I told her what she would do in life because her parents are late. Both the mother and the father are late. When I started advising her, right from that time till today, she just, with my own help and advice, she graduated from secondary school. She just wrote her one. Some people are just being selfish and bad character. They don't want to help. And you are bringing somebody's daughter to a child to keep in your own house to help you in the house, but you don't want to help her. It's very bad or anymore. It's very bad. Thank you for
Thank you very much for your contribution. Isn't it quite disturbing that people, are hustling up and down to get married, and then you get married, you're blessed with a child, then you don't want to sit and take care of that child yourself because you feel it's boredom. A lot of complaints that we've had over time is, it's very hard.
Peter, things are, you see, in those days, things were a bit easier and all of that. They're not taking away the fact that things are difficult in these days and time. We don't have purely housewives. They must be providing some form of assistance to upkeep of the family and all of that. So for that reason, you can't blame them. But what I'm saying, the way forward in dealing with this is government should make a provision, a law, that every institution that hires should have a crèche.
All right. Hello?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Welcome to X-Ray.
I'm in the Paradise. I'm calling you from
All right, welcome Mubarak, our regular caller.
Okay. I'm really appreciate the way that you are in this station, they do the testing to our lives, in order to change our lives.
Thank you.
What will be my contribution is that so many people they are carrying the gold plate, carry people conflict for their house to take care of their house, but in order to those people do the testing in them, they will call them, if they suffer them, they save their salary, all those things. In order to give our leaders advice, in order to give us better education, to come out from this threat that we people are facing in this country.
All right, thank you so much, Mubarak, for your contribution on the program. We'd like to appreciate that caller. He's a regular caller, honestly. Olive.
Yeah, Barrister said something before that I want to quickly react to. He mentioned helping people from afar. Of course, we all do that. But I want to state here that there are people you can actually help from afar. And there are people that really need to be close to you before you help them. If you have a child that you know of that is below 18 years and let's say the person is an orphan and lives in a condition that you think is not good, and you want to help that child, I think it would be very wrong for you to rent an apartment for the child. I am not saying people should, get house helps or something, whatever you call it. But what I'm saying is, there is because from his explanation, the ideal thing to do is just help people from afar. You don't need to bring them to your house to help them. But I think there are people who really need to live close, who really need to be with you for you to be able to help them. And what my concern is actually when you bring people to live with you, how do you treat them? What do you expect of them? Do you expect them to run your house for you? Do you expect them to be both your chauffeur and your driver and your cleaner and everything? Because he mentioned something before that there is an agency that recruit people for that take
there are many, it's not just one.
Now that is also another aspect of it, because I believe if an agency is recruiting people to work for someone in their homes, then I think we really need to rebrand. There is no reason why they should call them house help. If you are recruiting for a chef, then you are recruiting for a chef. If you are recruiting for a nanny, whatever it is, you just mention it, and then it's a paid employment. You should differentiate that from house help.
All right, I'll take this call. Kindly put off your radio set.
Okay, I'll leave the place. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Extra on Human Rights Radio.
Yes, sir. My name is Adewale, calling you from Korodu.
You're welcome, Adewale.
Yes, sir. I want to contribute to this program this morning.
Please contribute.
All right. This program is an interesting program. And every parent now, what we should be praying for is that we will not be a victim of all this evil that is going on all over the world now. I think in Nigeria, the way we treat the house help, we treat them the way they treat common criminals. You will see a situation where someone will have a house help, and the husband will be sleeping with house help, they will be having abortion, no first one, no second one, no third one, and they will keep quiet, and they will keep the situation within the family. But not everybody has sisters or family who take care of their house help to the extent that they send house help to the school. It's not a part of the family. They brought this lady from another way, and they sent this girl to the school, and he graduated from a primary school, moved to secondary school, and to university level. And the husband still got job, job for the same lady. And today, the girl is well to do, and the family, they are living comfortably. But the only thing I think we should do now is to start disorient our parents to stop allowing their children to be taken away from the home. Most of them, they take the children to do all those funny labor. They throw them to the streets to work for them and to take care of their own to work at home. Why their children, they will not do anything. We have some family today that house help iron socks, house help iron pants, and house help still cook at home. Why they have the children up to 50 years that they cannot even prepare food. Contrary Indomie, they can't do that one. That is why look at the young lady we are having, the graduate we are having today as a female, they can't cook at home. You have one that cannot cook vegetable, they can't do anything, that didn't do anything like that. So the thing is upside down now already. I pray God will intervene in this nation, Nigeria.
Thank you very much for your contribution, Adewale. Let's take another call from the next caller and see what reactions we get from Nigerians regarding our topic of the day. How we treat house helps, very important and very vital to our community. Hello? Good morning. Can you hear me? Because I can't hear you very well. Rose, you're welcome to the program.
Yes, sir. I like the program this month. I myself am doing that one. I am 27 years old, but I'm doing that just because of my background.
So can you tell us your story very quickly?
In just 2 weeks now, so I've not seen anything, but it's just that age. At my age, I'm speaking out to people. I just think sometimes they will shut that you. Sometimes they will be telling many people to me, but not because you miss something, you want to achieve something. So we just do it like that. Maybe you have any advice to give me after 7 years to start somebody's house beginning after.
Hello, can you hear me, Rose?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so your voice, you sound very educated, Rose. Are you schooling?
I am not schooling, just a complete school.
Well, I tell you what, you sound very intelligent to me, and I think that school should be the next bus stop for you. Hello?
Yes, sir. I'm not school so much, but not want to assist.
Uh-oh. That's really... let me get my panelists to give you some advice.
Okay, sir.
Just keep listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There you have a very intelligent lady. Very intelligent. So everybody is mute in the studio. Are you shocked?
No, you see, it's sad, Peter. It's sad because that is a potential. I don't know how to describe her. That is being kept to do menial job for somebody else at home. My advice.
From afar, you know?
Yeah, sure. That's exactly what I'm going. What she can do. We've provided a lot of platform here in this studio, where even through Benefit Family and all of that, Chef Fatima providing some assistance on how to do some, cooking and all of that. She can seize one of these opportunities and then, take it on from there. And I'm sure by the time she is doing very well, issue of getting a place where she can work effectively and earn some money to assist herself, that can take,
So it's not all about being a house help.
No, she can veer into something else. You see, one of our basic problem is about we need to be strategic in our thinking and our planning. Most importantly, we have to be, prayerful and rely on God, because without Him, there's nothing absolutely any of us can do. You pray and you work towards achieving what you want to get. By sitting down at home just doing house help, I don't think that will help her. If she can learn a trade, even within what time does she do her chores at home and all of that, she can seize 1 or 2 hours, engage herself in something that is meaningful, learn how to, make something. There are some basic things that people must do on earth. Somebody must be hungry. Whether we like it or not, people have to eat. So anything concerning food, they move market. People will drink water. That is important. Your cloth must be torn. You must sew new one and all of that. So these are areas people should look at. But if you are good at it, then the rest is history. So she should try to seize the opportunity that are being provided elsewhere, learn a trade, and then God will be with us all through.
All right, so let's take another call. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Suleiman Abdulrazak.
You're welcome, Suleiman.
Thank you, Mr. Peter, and my greetings to the gentlemen and ladies there.
Thank
What a
you.
topic, my brother. I just heard there is going to be a repetition of such topic to enlighten so many people. A lot people who can't go to their parents, deceive them, give them a different impression, and by the time the children were released to them, you will be shocked where they tend them to be. As I speak with you, I am a living testimony. Yes.
You want to share your experience?
My own personal experience. But I thank God today I never gave up in life. The person that took me away was my brother. We did not a far distant relations, my own step brother. And by the time I get to, we arrived where he lives then in the area, the story was different. I became a house boy. A slave, a modern day slave. I love it when when somebody mentioned them that as far as concerned is a modern day slavery. I became a slave to the wife and every other person in the house. And that really, go a long way to demoralize me, make me have a different feeling about everything at all. Because a lot of dreams were lost then, but I thank God I did not give up. I was able to recover myself. So please, if you want to be a child to anybody, you should know where that person is being taken to. You should know what that person is up to. You should know what that person is doing. Don't just believe what the person will come and tell you, even if the person is your brother. Please, know who, if the person is married, try to know who the wife is. Because I am sorry, with due respect to all women who are listening to this program now, most of the problem comes from there. With all due respect, some of them, I'm sorry to say, I am talking out of my own personal experience. But today, sometimes the thoughts people be treated that way can never be anything in life. When you are not their creator. That's why I said I use myself as a personal example. Out of my own personal experience, I feel like shedding tears now because the kind of memory that it brings back to me that sometimes I don't like to remember, but I just have to. But I've moved on anyway, and I've also shown them today that there are way you treat people. I showed the man that my brother is alive. I'm sure if I'm not mistaken, he's listening to this program because he doesn't miss about the except if he's in the church. That is when he is not listening to this radio station. So please treat everybody kindly because you never can say what a person is going to be tomorrow. Please, it's just a general plea to everybody listening to this program, whether you know the person or not. You mustn't turn the person to a modern day slave. Like Idris said, the people they are assisting, the other person is assisting, nobody, they don't even know where they are from. And after the assistance, maybe you might never get to meet with them again. So you never can say what will happen tomorrow. So we should treat everybody kindly with respect because of tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Suleiman.
God bless Nigeria.
Such an inspiring account there.
Yeah, that was quite, it's sad that at this point of our lives as a people and as a nation where we're supposed to be very well informed, we're doing things that we shouldn't be doing. I think there's a need for us to sensitize ourselves more, especially at the grassroots. You go to the villages, let people keep their children with themselves. There are public schools even in the villages. So when someone comes and says, look, I want to give me your child, I'll take the child to school. There are schools, some of us went to schools in the villages and we came out. So, there are schools at the local government levels, there are schools everywhere. Take care of your children yourself. you know.
In fact, in countries like Canada, the United States, and so many other countries, your child needs to be 5 years or thereabout before he starts school or they start school.
In Finland, it's 7 years.
7. You can imagine now the world is realizing
and
the
Finland has the best education in the whole world
currently. Yes, I agree with you on that. That's a fact.
One again, sorry, I'm digressing a little bit. You see, some parents now they allow their wards to do primary 5 instead of going to primary 6. No.
They
Go
want
to
speed it
secondary
up.
school
Yes.
straight.
I don't know where
It
we
is
are
a
rushing
very
to.
wrong thing.
It is.
The training, education starts from you, the parents. You need to imbibe or induce your children first before any societal induction.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. Parents are not realizing. And so many people keep telling me, when is your daughter going to start school? And I say, it's none of your business. Don't worry. I'll do it at the right time. But they're going to start after a while, after the training, after they understand our own mindset in the home before they go out, because every other thing is not part of your home. You have to instill that training in your child first of all. But let's take a call first. Hello? Please put up your radio set. Good morning, second female caller. Please put up your radio set.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for joining us.
Alright. I had no experience living with somebody. And sometimes I believe the women, most especially, want to be blamed for this, for the maltreatment of their household or whoever they come to the house to live with them. Yeah. Sometimes, even when I was 15 years, I had already finished my secondary school. I was supposed to start my university education because there was an agreement between I and them and my friends, because my parents just release their children like that. So there was an agreement that they were going to sponsor the higher institution of higher learning. So when I went to the house, it was like I became the mother, I became the father, I became the household. I was doing everything, including taking their sick child who was about 3 years old and a sickler to the hospital myself. So it was something like that I could not endure that much, but I had to do it because I knew why I was there. I had to endure some things. And they said that when I come back from the hospital, you start asking questions. What do the doctor see? Including medical terms. 50-year-old child. So, and when I was just at home, she had no job, she was well educated, she was sitting at home idle, and she could not take her own child in a sick life for that matter to the hospital. The child grew up after like 3 years. The child started even taking him as his mother. Because the mother was so lazy. I mean, the true definition of laziness. She don't know if her children are eating, taking their drugs, or anything. I was just in charge of everything. So to an extent, she was also refusing me. After 3 years, no attempt of getting admission to the university, I had to make up my mind and escape. So I was in her house, I think 18 years, nothing like something into the university, nothing like any institution of higher learning. So I got fed up. I called my parents that I am done. I can't stay here anymore, and I just had to leave. It was when I got to have to call them that I've arrived. I could not stay. Some parents are just intent on punishing people. Not to try the women. Who get themselves before to know this house, women especially. And when one wants to bring in a house help, they should be ready for it. Not just bringing a house. Yes, there's no better way of calling them in. A house help is what comes to the house to help you with home chores. But there are some things that you don't get them involved in. They can't do everything for you. They're not magicians. They are also human beings. They should be very considerate of things like that. And for the women, they should try and understand the reason why the girls are in the house, not as a sex machine. Or an opportunity for them to have a second wife or a third wife or a fourth wife. Because some men, when they see a young lady like that, they believe she can do anything for money. So I think everything goes on between the man and the woman should be an agreement, and the kind of person you bring into your house really matters. If I was a very wicked person, maybe on my way to the hospital, I would turn to the church and I'm losing my way. So parents should be very careful with who they bring into their house as house helps or as relatives or whatever they call them. So people garnish them as their sisters when they are not. Yes, so that is my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Truly appreciate that opinion of yours. And let's not forget, there are lots and lots of stories. I mean, today will not just be enough for us to tell all the stories. I remember my neighbors when I was growing up. Their parents thought they were doing good to them, and always putting so much pressure on the relatives that were around because their father was very rich. But eventually those children were the ones that gave them problems till they died, because they became a problem. They were not trained. What you thought you were doing to those other children, you didn't know you were making them stronger. And those ones are all graduates today. Everybody in that family is late today as I speak with you. From the father, the mother with high blood pressure because of the attitude of the children, and the one of the children eventually died from a lifestyle and all of that. One of them just turned to God recently, and we're very happy about that. So most times in life, when you think you're being wicked to some people, you're actually training them. Take a look at Suleiman's story. Suleiman is a great guy today, so you can imagine those kind of things. But final comments from our panelists in the building.
Yeah, I think for me, I want to appeal to the government and private business owners to please create crèche, at least within the working environment, so that it will reduce the number of house help that are going around and all of that. Once crèche are created, you can even ask staff to make small contribution to hire somebody who will be taking care of these little ones that are in these crèches, and things will normalize. A home is a small society that within the larger society. If our homes are good, the entire society will be good. So let's make our home better.
I want to ask that we sensitize our people the more. It's not about giving your children out to people. No matter how poor you are, there must be a way. Keep your children with you. Train them. There are things they can do. Don't be deceived by these people that come and say, look, we'll give them better life. They don't give them better life by the end of the day. Let's go home and sensitize our people to take care of the children by themselves.
Olive?
Growing up, I had this brother that lived with us. I didn't even know he wasn't my biological brother until I was in the university, and I insisted on visiting him for one of those ASU strike, And my dad called me and said, no, I can't. He had to explain to me that he is not your brother, but, really, it's not that kind of thing. And my elder sister had someone who lived with her. Today she's a graduate, and she was even giving her about 40,000 every month. So why am I saying this? If you're a people's person and you feel there is nothing wrong with living with anybody, by all means do. But don't forget to treat them right. Because nobody knows tomorrow. Treat them like you want to be treated. Treat them like you want your kids to be treated. Thank you very much.
And it's now an export material. Some persons have specialized for international purposes, sending kids abroad to in the name of child trafficking. That we totally condemn on Human Rights Radio, and we encourage that you take charge of your home. Try as much as possible to treat everyone equally. Whether you're a child or not, everybody is human first, like Barrister Idris will always hammer on. Thank you so much for being part of X-Ray this morning. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great time. My name is Peter Kundum.